In a world where time often tries to remind us of its inevitable passing, there's one star who refuses to age, Dyan Cannon. At the tender age of 88, this classic Hollywood beauty isn't just young at heart, she's practically timeless. And this week, she proved that her heart and her sense of humor are what keep her feeling forever young. It all started with a casual day out. Cannon, the legendary Caddyshack actress, known for her roles in everything from Heaven Can Wait to Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, was gearing up for what was supposed to be a fun-filled White House tour. She was joined by her co-hosts from her God's Table podcast, Tracy Bregman, Kim Douglas Robertson, and Christina Vanny Fisher, three women equally as charming and charismatic as their companion. It was a simple plan, a tour of the White House, a few laughs, and perhaps a selfie or two. But what happened instead was an unforgettable moment of Hollywood meets security snafu. The group of women, bubbling with excitement, approached the security checkpoint. They were ready to walk through the doors of one of the most iconic buildings in the world, but not without a little bit of drama. It wasn't long before they were stopped. The reason? A discrepancy between Dyan Cannon's passport details and her age on file. It seemed that her well-kept secret, the age she had so craftily adjusted on her passport, had finally caught up with her. One of the podcast co-hosts, the ever-sassy Tracy Bregman, turned to the camera, casually breaking the news to the world. We can't get in because someone lied about their age. Cue the laughter from the group. What happens next is a blend of Hollywood wit and a life well lived. As her friends continue to giggle, Dyan Cannon steps forward without a shred of shame to reveal her little secret. She grins and, without missing a beat, says, "Girls, listen, years ago, I lied about my age on my passport." A moment of stunned silence. And then the group bursts into laughter. But it's not just any laughter. It's the sound of friendship, of decades of memories shared, and of a woman who still refuses to play by anyone's rules, not even the Secret Service. The video, posted on Cannon's social media, quickly went viral. Fans and followers flooded the comment section, not with scorn, but with admiration. One commenter wrote, "Dyan has laughed her whole life. That's why she's so energetic and enthusiastic and positive." Another added, "You go, Dyan, you're right, it's no one's business." The comment section wasn't just supportive, it was an outpouring of affection. And let's be real here, who can blame them? Dyan Cannon hasn't just aged gracefully, she's practically defied it. The woman exudes an energy that seems to have transcended time itself. Let's talk about that energy. Dyan Cannon is a force to be reckoned with. She's the epitome of classic Hollywood glamour, but with a playful twist. Her career spans decades, from her roles in film to her television appearances. And even in her late 80s, she's embraced life with the same vigor she had when she first hit the scene. From her years on the big screen with stars like Cary Grant to becoming an iconic Los Angeles Lakers fan, Cannon has always lived large. But it's not just her career that defines her, it's her indomitable spirit. In fact, her refusal to adhere to the traditional norms of age is one of the things that makes her so beloved. She's the kind of person who never lets a number define her, and she's been a beacon of joy for her fans for decades. When asked about her little fib, Cannon responded with unbridled honesty, "I'd do it again." And let's be clear, she would. Because for Dyan Cannon, it's not about hiding her age. It's about living every day with the enthusiasm of a 20-year-old, even if her passport says otherwise. Of course, this isn't the first time Cannon has been an ageless wonder. Fans online couldn't help but mention her youthful glow, some even admitting they've had crushes on her for decades. One fan posted, "I've had a crush on you since the first time I saw you, still do." If you think about it, it's no surprise that Cannon's age has been something of a well-kept secret. She's always been someone who refuses to let time box her in. From her fierce independence to her unapologetic sense of humor, she's the kind of person who isn't afraid to embrace her flaws and her fabulousness in equal measure. But let's step back for a second. Why does this story matter? Why has a simple security checkpoint snafu turned into a viral sensation? The answer is simple. We all need a little bit of Dyan Cannon's spirit in our lives. In a world that often ties so much weight to age, she reminds us that it's not the number on your birth certificate that matters. It's the spark in your eye, the passion in your heart, and the laughter that keeps you young. And if you're lucky enough to spend time with her, as we saw in that White House video, she'll have you laughing along with her, no matter your age. So, Dyan Cannon may not have made it into the White House this time, but she certainly made an entrance into our hearts and our social media feeds. Her White House tour may have been cut short, but her legacy as one of Hollywood's most timeless rebels is secure. As for the rest of us, we can only aspire to age as gracefully and as unapologetically as Dyan Cannon. A few years ago, Netflix boss Ted Sarandos was meeting with Guillermo del Toro when he asked the celebrated director which films were on his bucket list. Del Toro answered with two names, Pinocchio and Frankenstein. "Do it," Sarandos replied, effectively agreeing to fund both projects for the streaming giant. The first film, Del Toro's acclaimed dark fantasy version of Pinocchio, arrived in 2022. But when it came to starting work on Frankenstein, Del Toro had one warning. It's big. He wasn't joking. The Mexican filmmaker's ambitious take on the famous mad scientist and his monstrous creation is one of the centerpieces of this year's Venice Film Festival. It's a project he has been working towards for decades. It's sort of a dream, or more than that, a religion for me, since I was a kid, Del Toro tells journalists at the festival. He highlights Boris Karloff's performance in the 1931 adaptation as particularly influential, but it's taken a long time for Del Toro's own version to reach the screen. "I always waited for the movie to be done in the right conditions creatively, in terms of achieving the scope that it needed, to make it different, to make it on a scale that you could reconstruct the whole world," he explains. Now that the process has come to an end and the movie is about to be released, the director jokes he's now in postpartum depression. Since the 1818 novel by Mary Shelley, there have been hundreds of films, TV series, and comic books featuring some iteration of the famous character. The latest adaptation sees inside Llewyn Davis star Oscar Isaac take on the role of Victor Frankenstein, with Saltbin and Euphoria actor Jacob Elordi unrecognizable as the monster-like creature he gives life to. Isaac recalls, "Guillermo said, 'I'm creating this banquet for you. You just have to show up and eat.' And that was the truth. There was a fusion. I just hooked myself into Guillermo, and we flung ourselves down the well. I can't believe I'm here right now," he adds, "that we got to this place from 2 years ago. It just seemed like such a pinnacle." Andrew Garfield had originally been cast as the titular creature, but had to leave the project due to scheduling conflicts which arose from the Hollywood actors' strike. Elordi stepped in at short notice. "Guillermo came to me quite late in the process," the actor recalls, "so I had about 3 weeks before I got to filming. It presented itself as a pretty monumental task, but, like Oscar said, the banquet was there, and everybody was already eating by the time I got there, so just had to pull up a seat. It was a dream come true." The film also stars Christoph Waltz and Mia Goth as Elizabeth, who marries Frankenstein, but grows distant from him as she offers more kindness to the creature than he does. The film is split into 3 parts, a prelude, followed by 2 versions of events told from the points of view of both Frankenstein and his creation. It shows Frankenstein's childhood and the factors that drove him to start work on the project in the first place. But it also encourages audiences to see things from the creature's point of view, shining a light on how badly treated he was by his creator. At 149 minutes, there is room for the characters and their backstories to be fleshed out. In early reviews of the film, most critics agreed it just about earns its runtime. It perhaps might have been shortened, but Del Toro's sandbox is so irresistible, the return to big Hollywood movie-making so pronounced, it must be hard to stop, said Deadline's Pete Hammond. Once a filmmaker on the scale of Del Toro gets unleashed in the lab, why cut it short? But other reviews suggested it was far from Del Toro's best. The Independent's Jeffrey McNabb said it was all show and little substance, adding, "For all Del Toro's formal mastery, this Frankenstein is ultimately short of the voltage needed really to bring it to life." There was much more enthusiasm from The Hollywood Reporter's David Rooney, who wrote, "One of Del Toro's finest. This is epic-scale storytelling of uncommon beauty, feeling, and artistry." And in a 4-star review, Total Film's Jane Crowther said, "Masterfully concocted and pertinent in theme, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein is a classy, if somewhat safe, adaptation with awards legs." Del Toro is one of his generation's most beloved directors, treasured in the industry for his own love of cinema and his ambition for what it can do. The 60-year-old is also Hollywood's go-to filmmaker for stories involving monsters or other fantastical creatures. His credits include Pan's Labyrinth, Pacific Rim, and The Shape of Water. The latter won him the Oscar for Best Picture and Best Director in 2018. He has great affection for monsters and is known for humanizing them in his films, evoking sympathy from the audience for characters previously seen as villains. In Frankenstein's case, he says, "I wanted the creature to be newborn. A lot of the interpretations are like accident victims, and I wanted beauty." His vision and attention to detail, with Frankenstein extended to every aspect of the production, ensuring great care went into costumes and sets, which are overwhelmingly real, physical settings rather than computer-generated landscapes. CGI is for losers, comments Waltz, to much laughter. Del Toro adds that filming with real-life backdrops ultimately draws out a better performance from the actors than using green screens. He likens the distinction between CGI and physical craftsmanship to the difference between eye candy and eye protein, but adds he does use digital effects when absolutely necessary. At 92, Kim Novak is still captivating audiences with her timeless beauty and bold personality. One of Hollywood's most iconic figures from the Golden Age, Novak's career skyrocketed when she starred in Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo, 1958. However, her off-screen life also made headlines, particularly a secretive romance she shared with Sammy Davis Jr., one of the Rat Pack's most beloved members. Now, that romance is set to be immortalized in a biopic titled Scandalous, but Novak is not pleased with the title of the film. The title, as she points out, oversimplifies their deep and personal connection, turning it into something far more salacious than it truly was. Kim Novak, the legendary actress whose career was built on both her dazzling screen presence and her mysterious allure, had a love affair in the late 1950s that not only challenged the racial barriers of the time, but also set her life on an unexpected course. At the height of the civil rights movement, and under the shadow of Jim Crow segregation laws, Novak, a blonde bombshell known for her role in Vertigo, fell deeply in love with Sammy Davis Jr., a black man who, despite his immense talent, faced his own struggles in Hollywood's segregated society. Now, decades later, their secret relationship is being portrayed on screen in Scandalous, a forthcoming biopic directed by Colman Domingo, who's known for his powerful storytelling in Sing Sing and his work as an actor in Euphoria. However, Novak has voiced her concerns about the project, especially the way it sensationalizes their bond. The title, Scandalous, has led the actress to clarify that their relationship, far from being a scandal, was deeply meaningful to both of them. In an interview with The Guardian, Novak shared her thoughts on the film's portrayal. "I don't think the relationship was scandalous," she said. "He's somebody I really cared about. We had so much in common, including that need to be accepted for who we are and what we do, rather than how we look." Novak went on to express concern that the film was focusing too much on the sexual aspects of their relationship. She wondered whether the project was being made to sell their bond based on tabloid-style titillation rather than a deeper exploration of love and connection. For Novak, the relationship with Davis was not about rebellion or defiance, but about understanding and compassion. They were two people who, despite the racial and societal divides of the time, found common ground. Both were struggling with their identities in a world that judged them not for their abilities or their character, but for how they appeared on the surface. At the time of their relationship, Hollywood was a very different place. Despite Davis's immense popularity as part of the Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and others, he was still subjected to the harsh realities of racial discrimination. The romance between Davis and Novak was an open secret, one that was whispered about but rarely discussed openly, given the racial dynamics at play. Their romance came to light in early 1958 when a Chicago gossip columnist published a detailed account of their affair. The columnist even reported that Novak and Davis were planning to marry. However, both Novak and Davis denied the claims. The publicity from the article rocked Hollywood, sparking a frenzy about their relationship, despite the fact that Novak and Davis had always been protective of their privacy. The consequences were swift and severe. Columbia Pictures boss Harry Cohn, who had Novak under contract, was reportedly furious. According to various accounts, he threatened Davis with mob violence, warning that his relationship with Novak would be bad for business, and urging him to sever ties with the actress. Under immense pressure, Davis did just that, and the affair ended abruptly. The aftermath of the relationship was felt in the weeks that followed. In a stunning twist, Davis married a black woman, Lorraine White, just 9 days after the breakup. Novak, for her part, went on to marry white actor Richard Johnson in 1965. Despite the public fallout, Novak has always maintained a level of respect and affection for Davis, dismissing the idea that their love affair was simply a scandalous affair of the moment. Domingo, who has been deeply involved with the project as both a director and a co-producer, has described Scandalous as a beautiful, sweet film. He insists that the biopic is more than just about their physical relationship. It is about two people trying to live their truth and find privacy and love in a world full of scrutiny. The film is really about the possibility of love, but under many eyes, Domingo explained. he added that the story would explore the challenges of trying to have privacy, trying to have love, trying to have a life. Domingo also reflected on how personal the project is for him and his co-producer Sydney Sweeney, best known for her role in Euphoria. Both have experienced the pressures of fame and the relentless scrutiny of the public eye, something they believe Novak and Davis understood well. Despite his good intentions, Novak's concerns about the film's portrayal of their relationship being driven by sexual intrigue still linger. While she respects the creative process and understands the need for storytelling, she remains wary that the film could detract from the genuine emotional connection she shared with Davis. As Novak is honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Venice Film Festival, it's clear that she has had a long and thoughtful journey in Hollywood. At the festival, the actress will be celebrated not just for her performances, but for the way she has navigated the complexities of fame and personal identity. In Kim Novak's Vertigo, a documentary about her life and career, Novak reflects on the tumultuous years that followed her stardom, the internal battles she faced, and how she sought to live on her own terms. Asked by The Guardian how she would like to be remembered, Novak responded with a sense of quiet dignity. "I would like them to think that I was true to myself, that I kept my standards high, and lived by them." Her journey in Hollywood was not without its challenges. She faced public scrutiny, made difficult decisions, and endured the complexities of her personal relationships being fodder for public consumption. Yet, through it all, Novak has maintained a sense of self-respect and authenticity that has earned her a place in cinematic history. Kim Novak has always been one of Hollywood's rebels. From her early days as a model to her iconic roles in films like Vertigo, she carved out her own space in a system that often demanded conformity. Her relationship with Sammy Davis Jr. may have been hidden from the public eye for the most part, but it was also a profound and human connection that transcended the racial barriers of the time. It was a love story not defined by scandal, but by mutual respect and understanding. In an industry that too often focused on the superficial, Novak was a true outlier, a woman who chose her path, both professionally and personally, with determination and grace. As the years have gone on, her legacy has only grown stronger, not just as a performer, but as someone who dared to challenge the status quo. Whether or not scandalous truly reflects her relationship with Davis is yet to be seen, but Novak's legacy will always be defined by her refusal to be boxed in by others' expectations. Her life, love, and career remain a testament to the power of living authentically no matter the odds. Kim Novak's story is one of courage, defiance, and the pursuit of truth. Her time in the limelight may have been fraught with challenges, but she faced them head-on with an unwavering commitment to her principles. Today, as she receives well-deserved accolades, Novak remains a symbol of what it means to live on one's own terms. And while the forthcoming biopic may attempt to capture a fraction of her complex relationship with Sammy Davis Jr., it's the depth of their bond, free from scandal, that truly defines their love story. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, 58, has shared that he recently underwent treatment to remove skin cancer. The TV personality, best known for his fiery temper and Michelin-starred restaurants, took to social media on Saturday to update his fans on the procedure, revealing he had been treated for basal cell carcinoma, a form of non-melanoma skin cancer. In a heartfelt Instagram post, Ramsay thanked the incredible healthcare professionals who treated him, noting their quick and efficient response. He expressed his gratitude, saying that he was grateful and so appreciative for the fast reactive work of the medical team who helped remove the cancerous growth. Ramsay's post also included a message urging his followers to take care of their skin, particularly when out in the sun. "Please don't forget your sunscreen this weekend," Ramsay wrote, adding a lighthearted comment to diffuse any concerns about his appearance. "I promise you it's not a facelift. I'd need a refund." The post featured a photo of Ramsay's face after the treatment, showing a small plaster placed beneath his ear where the cancerous spot had been removed. The post quickly garnered an outpouring of support from fans and fellow celebrities alike. TV judge Robert Rinder commented on Ramsay's Instagram post, sharing a heart emoji, while Cancer Research UK offered their well wishes. The charity praised Ramsay for raising awareness about the importance of skin cancer prevention and offered key advice on how to protect oneself from harmful UV rays. A message from Cancer Research UK read, "Seek shade, cover up, and apply sunscreen regularly and generously." They also commended Ramsay for using his platform to remind the public about the importance of staying safe in the sun, especially during the warmer months. Basal cell carcinoma, BCC, is the most common form of non-melanoma skin cancer, and although it is typically slow-growing, it can cause significant health issues if left untreated. The NHS explains that BCC is often caused by prolonged exposure to ultraviolet (UV) light, which can come from both natural sunlight and artificial sources like sunbeds. Most commonly, BCC develops in areas of the skin that have been frequently exposed to the sun, such as the face, neck, and hands. The main symptoms of BCC include a growth or patch of skin that may appear crusty, scaly, or swollen. Though it is not as aggressive as other types of skin cancer, BCC requires early detection and treatment. The good news is that when caught early, BCC can typically be treated effectively, as was the case with Ramsey. The NHS also emphasizes that the risk of developing skin cancer can be reduced by taking precautions when in the sun. These include wearing sunscreen with a high SPF, covering up with protective clothing, and seeking shade during the sun's peak hours. Regularly reapplying sunscreen is also crucial for maintaining protection. Gordon Ramsay has long been an advocate for health and well-being, often using his platform to speak out on various health issues. In the past, he has shared his experiences with personal challenges, including his struggle with weight and fitness. This latest revelation about his skin cancer treatment is part of his ongoing commitment to raising awareness and encouraging people to take care of their health. The chef's experience is a stark reminder that skin cancer can affect anyone, regardless of their fame or lifestyle. With Ramsay's high profile and public personality, his openness about his diagnosis and treatment is helping to bring much-needed attention to the importance of protecting our skin from harmful UV rays. As summer approaches and the days grow longer, Ramsay's message is clear: taking care of your skin is essential. The chef, who has been a prominent figure in television with shows like Hell's Kitchen and Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares, has also been the face of many of his Michelin-starred restaurants, where health and safety are top priorities. Ramsay's advice to use sunscreen and protect your skin from the sun is not just a passing comment. It is an urgent call to action for everyone to consider their skin health, regardless of age or skin type. With skin cancer rates on the rise worldwide, taking preventive measures is crucial to lowering the risk of developing serious conditions in the future. As he continues to focus on his health and well-being, Ramsay's experience with skin cancer serves as a reminder that even public figures with seemingly perfect lives are not immune to health challenges. His journey is one of both vulnerability and resilience, and it's a message that resonates with his millions of fans worldwide. The Celebrity Chef's update has sparked a wider conversation about skin cancer and the importance of regular checkups. By sharing his story, Ramsay has once again used his platform for good, showing his followers that being proactive about health can save lives. Whether you're a professional chef or simply someone who loves the sun, Ramsay's advice to please don't forget your sunscreen could make all the difference. As the public rallies behind him, Ramsay's story serves as a powerful reminder that, regardless of who we are, we must all be vigilant about our health. Thank you, Gordon Ramsay, for using your voice to advocate for the importance of skin protection and raising awareness of skin cancer prevention. In the wake of Ramsay's recent health scare, many are turning their attention to skin cancer prevention and the importance of taking steps to protect one's skin. While the world continues to admire his culinary genius and television persona, it is his role as an advocate for health that may leave an even greater legacy. By sharing his own battle, Ramsay has made it clear: protecting your skin is just as important as creating a perfect meal. And while his treatment may have been the subject of many jokes, the message he's sending is serious. Protect your skin, because it's the only one you've got.